As we come into a new month, our theme this month is abundance. Abundance. Let your manifested glory fall on me. Last month we were talking about power. And how power is about our capacity to be. And I don't want to confuse capacity with the concept of our capabilities, because our capabilities limit us to a time and space of what it is that can come from us. But capacity is bigger than that. Capacity speaks to a potential. If we were to think of it as this room, for example, this room has a capacity. And this capacity allows for various things to take place. Okay? There are different things that are capable of taking place. But the capacity is beyond just what's capable. Like this thing's capable, but then another thing could be capable. And yet another thing could be capable because it has capacity. And we tend to forget that we are places and spaces in the universe. I want to start the month off there. We really need to grasp this. You know, and it may take a few months. Shoot, it took me years to really grasp that I wasn't an entity, that I wasn't just this being that life was happening to, that things were happening at me, but that I was a place and space that activity was happening through. That life wasn't happening at me, life was happening through me. And that the life that was happening through me just wasn't even my life. Life itself was happening through me. And that I had a choice on whether I was going to limit it to just who I thought I was, or whether I could get that little small thing out of the way and let something bigger come through me that I didn't even feel capable of. My capacity is beyond what I think I am capable of. You will always limit yourself if you are just looking at what you think that you can do, because you're going to run out. You only have so much. You will run out. Sometimes we call it hitting the wall. Sometimes we call it running dry. Anybody that's ever been in any kind of creative endeavor knows what that's like. Writer's block, or whatever that thing is, or perhaps you're a runner. And you just know you're going to die. And then you let that go. And we call it the second wind. Yes? Okay? This is this paradox. Paradox is where seemingly contradictory things are true at the same time. So when we feel like we have maxed out our capability, we have to dig into our capacity for more. Just when you think you can't love anymore, you have to tap into this wellspring of capacity to love to come up with a little bit more. Just when you think you can't forgive anymore, you've done it as much as you can do. You tap into a wellspring. Any of you just have had your energy drained. Maybe you're raising kids. Maybe you're taking care of your parents. Maybe you're working 2, 3, 4 jobs. Maybe you're just caught in all these things and you just can't get up out of the bed. And you tap into something. Yes? Yes. So the irony is that you tap into the place where you don't think you have anymore. Listen to that. You have to tap in to where you don't think you have anymore. This is the stuff of healing. Your body's ill. Your body's experiencing some kind of outer distress. But where is the health? Where's your health? The health is in that same body. You can't borrow it. You can't buy it. You can't get it from somebody else. The health is in the same body that appears to be ill. It's there. So we have to go beyond the appearances. We have to go beyond what it seems like our body is capable of doing in that moment and go to a place of pure capacity. And this place of pure capacity is beyond what you think you're capable of. The body temple is a good example of this. Our body is the place that life comes through. But there comes that point in time when this body is not capable of the capacity of our life. There comes a point in time when the life that's trying to come through us is bigger than this body temple can handle. Listen to what I'm saying. What we call death is not death. What we call death is a release of a container that is no longer worthy and is too small of the life that has been in it. We have an incarnation. Carnation, flesh, body. There is something that comes in this body, but it is not the body. It is transcendent of the body. You ever look in a baby's eyes? You ever had that chance to look in like a newborn baby's eye? Like less than a week old? Or just right out the box, so to speak? What do you see? Oh my God. There's such depth in there, isn't there? There's such wisdom. There's such presence. And it's like, I don't get it. I don't understand it all. But I know you do not come here a blank slate. We have propensities. We have capacities. We have, skill sets and things. Anybody ever, like raised with siblings or been there with children, had more than one kid? And you cannot mold them. You can't. One's got the spirit of adventure. And at 2, you're just praying already. You're praying about 16 and 18 at 2. You know? And the next one is just deep. They're not going anywhere. But you know that they're tapping into stuff. One's busy exploring, trying to figure it out, and the others just challenge you straight out because they already know. Ain't been anywhere. They just know. And maybe they do. It reminds me of this story I tell from time to time because it just was one of those moments you never forget. This was back when I lived in LA. And I came out of church. I was a founding member of Agape, and I was talking to Beckwith, Reverend Michael Beckwith. And this guy who is out, this was prior to the facility that they're in now. This is when they were in another space. And you came out, and there was a curve right there. And this guy was leaning up against the car. And, he looked like he was homeless. He looked like he was drunk. And he just was whispering under his voice, really raspy like this. He says, Reverend Michael, come here. He said, I got the secret of life. So we looked at each other. We said, maybe he does. I don't know. So we go, and he's like this. He says, the problem is, ain't no problem. He said, that's the problem. That's just too deep for most people to figure out. Ain't no problem. So Michael and I looked at each other, and Michael said, he did have the secret to life, you know? You gotta tap in, okay? And the sooner we get humble enough and recognize, I don't have it. The sooner we get humble enough and realize that if there's something within me that's calling me forth to do something, if there's something within me that's saying grow more, give more, heal more, study more, learn more, share more, practice more, you're only going to be able to go so far on your own energy pack. And the sooner you surrender, the sooner you say, I'm going to tap into my capacity. I'm going to tap into the wellspring. Because there's something beyond me. We get too puffed up with ourselves. Anytime we do anything, we're doing it with the one thing that is. You don't have your own love. When you love, you are loving with the heart of God. You didn't make love up. It didn't start with you. You have the privilege of expressing something that has predated you for millennia. And you write a song, that's not your music. You don't have your own music. You just have the privilege of hearing it a certain kind of way and putting the notes together. You don't have your own notes. You don't have your own language. We don't have our own anything. We are just using something that's already here. I don't know why all these jokes are coming to me. And you know, if you've heard these before, I'm sorry, but they're just coming to me. It's like the scientists that found the genome code, and they're challenging God to a duel on who can make a human being the fastest. So they pick their time and their date, and they're going to have this duel. So they go way out, this deserted place, and the judge is like, we mark and set, go. And the scientists go down, and they start scooping up some clay. And God said, get your own dirt. Get your own dirt. Or in those spirit letters, these downloads that I get, where it's talking about our denial of this stuff, our denial that there's something bigger, our denial that there is this wellspring that we can tap into, and how we're only judging by the appearances, that we're only judging by what it is we can see. And the spirit letter saying, how dare you use something that I gave you to try to disprove me? How dare you? Try to use your eyesight to prove I'm not here. The spirit world is invisible. It's invisible. And in our tradition, what we like to say is that it's the one thing, but it's manifesting in three different ways. Sometimes we call it the triune nature of spirit. There's that place where it's just absolute first cause. If I were to keep with the analogies I'm talking about, there's a place where there's just music. Where is music? And then there's a song. Okay? The song is at the level of effect. It has form, but it's coming from the formless place. Can you feel? It's like the formless goes into form. you have love. It's formless. Then it takes form in relationships at the world of effect. The relationship is love, but it's not all of love. It's a representation of the love. It's within the infinite, but all of the infinite can't be in the finite. All of love cannot be in a single relationship, but every relationship is in love. All of music cannot be contained in a single song, but every song is a part of music. And then there's something, whatever that is, we don't know what it is. We call it the laws. We call it the principle. There's certain something that just manifests with absolute precision. This way that everything multiplies, each according to its own kind. It would be like the soil, where you plant something in. We don't know why things grow. We can't figure that out. We don't really know what that is that takes things from the invisible music into a song. I don't know. What is that? What is that that creates love? What is that that creates anything? We don't know. But we know we can use it. We know it's there. We know it's available. We know that if we cooperate, something happens. Yes? There's all of that that's there. But we think we're just the bottom part. We think we're just the effect. We think that we're just this place that's manifested. But oh no, who we are comes from something else. Who we are is not just this stuff that we can see and touch. Who we are is greater than that. When I know I'm a place and a space, then I know that who I am is not just what I've done or what has happened to me. I know that who I am is transcendent of that. It doesn't matter what you are, there's always more. You cannot exhaust you. It doesn't matter how much you've squandered. It doesn't matter how much you've wasted. There is always more. There is always a greater capacity. There is not a bottom deep enough that you can hit where you're out of the grace of God. In fact, some of us have to go there to find God. Pure capacity. Just I am. Not I am a this or I am a that. Just I am. Just breathe that in for a moment. Just I am. I am. In Scripture it says that Moses was being called to go back to Egypt. It says that there was a bush there that was burning but not being consumed by the fire. And the voice was speaking to him and said, "Take off your shoes, you're on holy ground." And as he's getting this call to go back, it's so typical of what I'm talking about. So you have this guy who's fled Egypt. He's on the lam because he's a murderer. He's killed a guard. He was raised in the Pharaoh's house, even though he was a Jew. And he's been living the fat life now. He's way off now. He's in another land. He's off towards Ethiopia. He's got a good wife, and he's doing it well. And he's getting this call, go back. Okay? Now, we all have this. There are these moments when we have our own version of the burning bush. Something that's telling us to go beyond our comfort zone, telling us to go back, use our talents and skills and to create something, to make something happen. And most of us do like he did with no. No, me? Are you sure me? Why me? Whatever, I'm old. Who's going to listen to me? Whatever that is. We have this big idea of, Moses, let my people go. Isn't that true? Moses stuttered. He stuttered. And that was part of his big concern. How am I going to tell anybody anything? And the voice from the bush says, I'll send your brother Aaron to do the talking. I'll send your brother Aaron. I want you to catch what I'm saying. There will be no excuses. Moses was not capable of getting, let my people go out. But he had a capacity to go back and create some freedom. He had a capacity. He didn't have the capabilities of it all, but Spirit will provide you whatever it is that you need. There will be no excuses. You will have what you need. Say, well, who? So I go back here, and now what? They're going to ask me, why am I here, and who sent me? Says, tell them, the King James Version says, tell them I am sent you. I am. I am that I am. A hey yay. A hey yay. Which more literally means I have been what I have been, I am what I am, and I will be what I will be. I'm always saying that now is just convergence of the past, the present, and the future, all right here. I have been what I have been, I am what I am, and I will be what I will be. I am. And it's this place that we come from. We don't come from this world. As it says in Scripture, be not conformed to this age, to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. The renewing of our mind, where we lift out of this idea that we're stuck, where we get out of the idea that I am no more than what has happened to me, where I recognize that I am one with the only thing that is. The only thing Spirit wants out of you is yes. That's all. Not to have a certain degree, not to have done this thing or this birthright or that authority, just yes. Dance just wants yes out of you. It doesn't care about your training. Music just wants yes out of you. All you need is yes. And it will pour through. We'll never have the capability to express all that's trying to come through us. I don't care how good you are. Michael Jackson went mad. There was so much music in his head. Dude couldn't sleep. There was so much music going on in his head. Even he did not have the capability to express the capacities of the amount of music that was trying to come through him. Are you with me? Yeah. What you can produce is the smallest measure. It's in here. You feel it in here. The fullness is in here. Don't worry about how much can manifest out there. You will never be able to manifest all the love that can come through you. You can't do it. You will never be able to manifest all of the joy, all of it, but you'll experience it. You'll feel it. It will free you. All you have to do is say yes. Cut with all the excuses to why not. Well, I did this thing. I didn't do that thing. My mama did this thing. My daddy didn't do that thing. My ex did this and blah, did Life doesn't care. This is the interesting part about it. It's this paradox. It's that realm of the invisible, the absolute, doesn't care about what's happening. Music doesn't care. Music doesn't care what's going on. I remember talking to this one vet And he was explaining how in the foxholes, it was the little children's Sunday school songs that kept him from going crazy. Music was there even in the midst of the bombs. Music's not going to stop because we're messing up the planet. Love's not going to stop. It's all there. All the time. We just have to give up the excuses. Why not us? Music didn't say, well, you know you're in the middle of war right now. And because you've got a gun in your hand, I can't come through you. Music's not saying that. Music's saying, just say yes. Whisper a song. Whisper it in your head. If you can't say it out loud, whisper it in your head. Feel it and hear. Be here. I'm with you always. The great I am that I am. But you have to let it go. You have to let it go. We are all tapped into a source. We are all tapped into the same source. There's not more of it available for one person than another. Listen to what I am saying. There's not more God available for one person than another. This great is here. It doesn't care about all the outer things that have happened. But here's the paradox. The paradox is it not going to stop being what it is because of you, but when it expresses, it will express as you. It doesn't care who you are in terms of being the all that it can be, but as it comes from the realm of the invisible down to the visible, it will express uniquely as you. You can't sing like somebody else. You can't dance like somebody else. You can't love like somebody else. You can't do anything like anybody else. When it comes through you, it'll look like you. It'll feel like you. It will express as you, and it will use everything about you to be the all that it is. According to your degree of yes. See, we're waiting for life to give us a break. Life is waiting for us to say yes. We're waiting for the circumstances and things to change. Doesn't have to change. Everything is wherever it is all the time. Grasp that. There's not more over here. There's not more yesterday than there will be today. There's not more in the Himalayas than there is in Harlem. There's not more of anything anywhere at any time. It's all here, all the time. It's the story that we make up. It's the story that we make up. Just show up. It's a come as you are party. Just show up. Just say yes. Take everything about you. Don't try to leave anything behind. Don't have any judgment about it. Just take all of you. Lay yourself down on the altar. And the great I am will use everything. Every skill, every hurt, every pain, every degree that you've had, all of it. And it will be shaped into your unique ministry. So that when life is moving through you, it's not moving through you in spite of you, because of you. Because of you. Because of what you've gone through, you'll be able to touch somebody in a way somebody else won't. Are you with me? You'll be able to do that. Okay? There's spheres of people that I reach, you're not going to be able to reach. There's people you reach, I can't reach. That's why when we say take this consciousness and multiply it, that's what I'm talking about. Whatever is your little sphere or neck of the wood, wherever it is, wherever you are, dare to use it, dare to be it right there. And if all of us dare to shine a little bit wherever we are, the whole world will be more illuminated. Your light, this light, this light, this light, this light, this light, this light. And I want to end on this visual. If it were night, I demonstrate it for you like I do in my classes. When it appears to be the darkest, is the greatest the impact of the smallest degree of light. The darker it is, the more power the smallest amount of light has. Listen to that. We get to the point when we think, all this darkness, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? It says in Scripture, it is better to light a single candle than it is to curse the darkness. Because no amount of dark can overtake the light. The darkness is not an entity, it's not an essence. It's all just a relative degree of dark. It's just relative, measured by how much light there is. You can't get rid of dark. You can only add light. You can't make dark. You can only retract light. It's just the light that's sliding. 5 watt, 500 watt, 500. So when we're finding ourselves down here in this world of effect, when we're finding ourselves feeling like it's dark, when we're finding ourselves feeling like, oh, my capabilities are down, we just step into this place and say, I am tapped into the source. I am tuning up my wattage. I am tuning it up. There's only so much I can do as 5 watts, but I've got 500 capacity. I've got 500, I've got 5 million. We'll never know. We will die before we ever find out our capacity. We'll never know. But all I know is that it's more than what you think. That much I know. That much I know. And I want to give a shout out. Last week after service, there was just so much energy pumping through me. And I knew I had to do some hands-on work. We were here at almost 3 o'clock. There was that much activity. And the first person was an older woman. We had 3 or 4 people using wheelchairs who were up here on the pulpit. And she'd been in such pain and such agony and such misery for like a long time. And the shakes, and we just did some work on her. And it was extraordinary to watch her face lighten up, to see her energy aura get up. And she wanted to stand up, get up. Held her, and she took some steps, and she was just doing her happy dance. And everybody was surrounded. It was the most extraordinary thing to watch this piece. And I just got told before I came in here, she passed away yesterday. I'm sharing with you good news. I'm sharing, because this whole thing with the chant was, I'm free. I just kept making her say it, and she kept saying it louder and louder. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. And it's this perfect example of where this body temple no longer had enough capability to handle the capacity of light that's now coming through her. Baby, she's free. She knows stuff now that we don't know. Yes. Yes. And I know I'll hook up with the family afterwards, but I was told how much they wanted to thank me because she was so free. This last week, she was just so free. That's available for any of us if we step into our yes. Let's pray.